why do we need HANA in the market now, and what are the best features in HANA in terms of client activities. So I'll be explaining what is the best features as a database and as a software and as a hardware, how it is going to support the different existing servers that are there in the client locations right now. So when we talk about any ERP business, this is a complete set of package, and how this solution is implemented at the client location as HANA, we will be seeing that. And in today in this agenda, we will be going through technology and roadmap facts, and what is SAP BW and its future, what is HANA and its future, what is BW and HANA, and as a HANA on the whole, what are the advantages and future. So we have in a market where the lot of globalization is happening, and in order to maintain their business, they need such a solution, nothing but ERP solution. It's like a consolidated one where they can manage the business. So with that thought has given the business this emerging of any kind of ERP solution. So when we talk about ERP solutions, we have Siebel CRM and we have SAP and few other ERP packages. It's nothing but a centralized resource planning, enterprise resource planning, which is centralized. We have, as a company, when we look at a company perspective, they are going to have different modules like MM, PP, SD, QM, and FI, controlling, and SS management, and life cycle management. So what are the transactions they are trying to post in these systems, or the business transactions that are happening in the system, that has to be maintained in a centralized manner where that can be accessible for reporting purpose for the efficient decision making. So that thought has given the developers and the business to come up with a business solution, like a business warehouse solution. As we will be doing day-to-day transactions, like suppose we are going to a retail market and you're going to buy certain materials. Once you pick up all the materials, you will be standing at the billing, and based on the product barcode, whatever you have, the billing will be done. So the barcode information will be shown in the system, and that whatever we have is there, and the immediate billing will generate it. So that's how the fastness of the business will be improved when we have a centralized, systematic, and already existing data. So all these transactions will be stored in transactional system. Like we have the business requirement gave a thought of having a transactional system, which is nothing but a ERP system. So what are the data you're receiving, and what are the data that we are receiving in the transaction system that has to be stored in a analysis process. Why? Because if we are trying to do if we are trying to bring the data where the transactions are happening, the performance of the system will go down. So that gave a thought of having this analysis system. With that, we started having SAP BW system, and now it is SAP HANA. So these two processes are differentiated in such a way. OLAP is online analytical processing, where the data is stored and the historical data will be stored, and the reports will be generated on multidimensional analysis processing. And the online analytical transaction system is going to be online processing is going to be your day-to-day transactions. Whatever is happening in the business, that information will be stored in the online transaction processing. So now they have bifurcated. Whenever we go to a client, they need to maintain these two separate servers to bring the business up. This is okay. This is going in this way all the while. And what happened is at one point of time, they started having challenges with the processing speed. So they have installed, many of the clients, they have installed another special tool called as another server called as a Trex. So that Trex server, BIS server, used to and is till now, it is giving support in order to the existing system in order to make a better performance. So this is how all the while it is going, and what are the transaction data and master data that we are receiving from the transaction system is being stored in the data warehouse for the operational reportings. But then they started having a comparison, like, maintaining three servers will be very difficult task, and there are many challenges. If we are going to use the business warehouse solution with SAP, it is going to be it's going to be a kind of historical data. Only once the transaction system is going to be ready and the transaction data is ready from the SAP transaction system, that has to be bring into the business warehouse solution in a periodic way with the data whatever we've been receiving. And it's going to be more like a kind of, we have to wait for a while. And though we have certain real-time access capabilities, there are always limitations for that because of the efficiency of the hardware that is there in the market right now. So that thought has given a idea, why don't we club everything as a single system to manage the huge amounts of data for the better performance. So that is a reason, and that is the result what we have in the market today as HANA. I'll let you know what are the basic differences in terms of OLAP and OLTP for a business in as a operational reporting purpose. So when we talk about OLTP systems, they are efficiency through automation of the business process, whereas OLAP systems they are very analytical purpose, like we can have the data in multidimensional architecture, we can store the data, and we can club different modules, and we can do a cross functional aggregation to get the better operational reports for the better forecast, better budgeting, better finance planning, and better sales analysis and better material management analysis. Whereas when we talk about priorities, OLTP should be highly available so that the business transaction will not get stuck at any point, and the higher data volumes of the data will be available in OLTP systems. Whereas OLAP systems are simple to use and the flexible access to data, because we're not going to have any kind of transactions that are going to be stored in the analysis system. And when we talk about OLTP, it is a very detailed data because all the transactions that are going to happen will be stored in a detailed manner. And OLAP systems are frequently aggregated and mostly aggregated. That's how we can say, as we want the system exclusively for analysis. And the age of the data in OLTP is going to be mostly current because the day-to-day transactions will be there, and the analysis process is going to be historical. And database operations here, when we want to do any kind of transaction update, and we can modify that record, we can add the record, and we can delete that record, because that's meant for that. But whereas OLAP is just read-only purpose, we are not going to do any kind of business in the any kind of analysis process systems. If we take any kind of business warehouse solutions in the market, they're exclusive for analysis purpose. And the typical structure of transaction system will be, they are relational. They'll have a primary key and secondary foreign key relational join tables, mostly flat tables and highly normalized. But then in OLAP, as we wanted to have a cross-functional merging with the different modules and different areas of the work in an organization, that's going to be a multidimensional, where the star schema technology will be used for the common usage of the mass data. And it is OLTP system usage, integration of the data will be like the aggregation of data will be minimal as the integration is minimal. In OLAP system, it's a comprehensive data set. In OLTP, we can store this data. Nothing but any ERP, ECC systems, we can store the data for 6 to 8 months. But then we can extract the data, whatever is coming into the OLAP systems, up to 7 years or more than, now it is 8 years, we can store the data. So whenever we want to have any kind of operational reporting for the analysis purpose, we can bring the data, whatever the data is coming into the analysis part, analysis systems, as we are going to store that at different staging layers, we can have that for future analysis. In both the systems, archiving is supported best feature, because after 6 to 8 months, we will really not scrap the system, we will really not scrap the data, whatever is going to come in the OLTP systems. We are going to archive that for the future need. At the same time, even in OLAP, it is going to happen the same way. After 2 to 7 years, we will be archiving. So as per the requirement, we will be retrieving the data with different technologies. So the basic, why do we need to have this ERP solutions? Why do we need to have this business warehouse solution? How does it's gonna fetch for any kind of business? Nothing but what we are calling as clients and the customers. This is to understand the business and understand the customer needs and understand the future requirement and future demand and the forecast, how we can be a better service provider in the society, in the market, to meet the needs of the people in the society. So for that, they always need to have, if it is a small business where they're going to deal with 100 people, that's still manageable if you have a normal count. But then if you're dealing with billions of the records in the market, billions of the customers in the market, then they definitely need a centralized system which is going to make them an efficient business person. So that is the reason SAP came up with this idea of ERP in early days. After that, now the business is growing and a lot of data is coming into the market, and it's a kind of billions and millions of the records if by the time is going on. So now the basic challenges started coming up with the hardware compatibility, what we have in the market right now with the software that is getting supported by the hardware. So that made them to work with the IBM and HP, Cisco, Dell, and NEC, different people to bring this concept of HANA, which is a combination of software and hardware. So what are the basic current challenges that we have in the market are, when we talk about OLTP, we still can run certain kind of reports. It's nothing but ECC systems, R3 architecture, whatever we have like database, application, and presentation layers. ECC, you still can run the reports, but then the limitations are we can have only line item analysis, like only one item you can check at a time. When you talk about material, you can have only material information, but you just cannot have a cross-functional verification in OLTP systems, and they are just delivered. But when you look at the analysis process, you can have a relational and multidimensional analysis. But when you to overcome that idea, to overcome that problem, they came up with this relational and multidimensional analysis process with the help of business warehouse. And in R3, we can have only delivered reports, whereas in BW, we can have business content delivered reports. This both are the same with the transaction data, whatever we are receiving on day-to-day basis. In analytical system, we can have ad hoc, like if you come up with a requirement and the customer wants to have a kind of analysis, as you already have previous data up to 7 to 8 years, we can build a structure and immediately we can bring the data. But that is not possible in R3 system, as the data residing capacity will be till only 18 months or maybe 2 years, not more than that. But so that has given a best weightage to this BW system. And when we talk about R3 systems, it consumes a lot of resources, nothing but hardware resources, and they need to maintain those servers. So that is that's because it's a transaction system where the business is going to be happen. We need to give high availability on that part. So what that problem has been overcome with the help of the BW and HANA, whatever we have as a data warehouse right now. And R3, it is more like real-time analysis, and BW, it's more like current and historical analysis, mostly historical, as the limitations are there for the online online data retrieving because of the hardware. And OLTP or function specific, whereas BW or HANA or cross-functional. So that's the reporting comparison. That end of the day, why do we need a business warehouse solution is purely for the operational reports that being used by various organizational managers and the hierarchies, what are the managing directors, CEOs are there. So based on that, they can come up with the forecast, budget allocation, what has to be done based on the geographical conditions and all. In order to do that, they need to have a better representation of the existing data with their planned data. All these things can be possible with the SAP BW and HANA, with the integration of the different planning tools as well. And when we talk about any kind of SAP BW system or SAP systems, all the data is stored in the form of transaction data and the mass data. The mass data, we call them as attributes, like the nature of the material, name, and its characteristics. And the transaction data is nothing but its numbers, how much you are selling and how much you are using, and how uniquely we can differentiate those records with the help of mass data with the relational concepts. So now we have seen two things, like what is ERP and what is BW, and those systems are two different systems and two different servers that has to be managed by the customer. And to have a better performance, they need to have a BI tracks engines where the index of data is going to be done on it. So they thought, why do we need to have three different systems? Let us have a common system where we're going to have a better software, we are going to have a better server for maintaining this, and let us have our own database. that concept has given the evolution of the HANA landscape in the year of 2009. So we started having HANA 1.0 at that time, and now we are running at HANA SP10, which has much capabilities, which is going to handle huge amounts of data that is coming into the market, even social media, and then the regular business for the better analytics, which is going to supported by this kind of architecture, the landscape. And this is working with in-memory concept. In-memory is nothing but where the massive quantities of real-time data will reside in the main memory of the server, which will provide the immediate results. Earlier days, it was like it has to get on to the database, and if you have a better hardware that is going to support it by, then the result fetching is going to be a little faster. Every time the tables what are going to, they are going to reside in hard disk of any server. So it every time it has to go there and search for all the sectors that are arranged, because always the scattering will be different based on the technology, based on the database that has been used by the customers or the clients, like DB2, MySQL, SQL, Oracle, and we have this kind of different databases. So whatever we are using, based on the hardware support, the processing, whatever we have at that time, the resource allocation and the data loads, whatever are going, it used to take a lot of time. So they thought, why don't we have this memory concept, and why can't we come up with a better idea of let us store the data, whatever we are trying to retrieve for the first time, let that be in buffer, and we can, whenever we want fetch the information, we'll simply get onto the memory, and then the data will be fetched from there. So that virtual memory concept, with the help of this Intel guys, and with the help of IBM, they came up with this idea. Let's have this in memory. That is why we call this as a in-memory computing. So what is in-memory computing? Instead of hard drive, we will be using random access memory as a storage location, temporary storage location, and then we will be pushing the analysis part and the application part to some extent, not may not be completely, to the RAM. So it is a technology. In-memory computing is nothing but it is a technology with the combination of hardware and software, where usage of the hard disk drive is minimized or almost avoided only, and at the time of boot you will be using, and at the time of delta loads we will be using that. But the first time whenever the data is going to come, it has to come from the hard disk. So in that case, we will be using only when the delta loads are happening. So this is a combination of the system. HANA is, it's a software. It acts as a software in terms of giving solution, in terms of allowing making this as a transactional system, and doing analytical report. And by getting supported by all these layers of the hardware, it is considered as a hardware. And in memory, because the calculations are going to happen in RAM, so this is going to be an in-memory concept. So in this way, it is a combination of the system, whereas ERP, our transactional system, and our analysis process is going to be done. So the transaction part will be covered by business suite, which is a combination of all ERP systems. And in HANA Studio, we will be doing the modeling of remodeling of the existing data, and how we will get this data time to time, like what are the data we have till now, we can get immediately with the help of replication technology. There are SLT, Sybase, different concepts have been introduced in this. So all these replication technologies are going to be helpful for them to bring the data time to time, immediate data. So that made it as a real-time analytic. That is the reason they call it, because we have a very good hardware which is supporting this particular data analytical tool altogether, a combination of the in-memory computing. So with the help of having this kind of hardware technology and the software features has helped the performance to be increased by almost 25%, which is a great deal in fact in the market. So in that way, HANA is flexible. It is gonna get supported by so many source systems, and uh, and we have features that's going to support all these things, and we can make the connectivity with the different systems. And the technology innovation in this is each CPU, we can have 32 cores in a motherboard, and 4 motherboards in each server, and 4 terabyte RAM is, and above that, as per the requirement, people can have it. And presently, it is coming up in different sizes, like T-shirt size, we call it as. We have XS, S plus, M plus, large. The data compression capability and the main memory is mainly considered as a key part in this hardware. Whatever uh, minimal, if it is a mid-seg business, mostly they're going for 128 GB. Server main memory is going to be like that. If it's a little bigger, like when we take Walmart, they need up to 512 GB, and the bigger pharmaceutical companies and oil-based companies and centralized retail sectors, they're using this 1024 GB server main memory. So it's purely this combination, and the proposal is going to be based on the T-shirt size base. So whatever we have, we can extract the data from BW system, we can extract the data from Oracle, we can extract the data from ERP, and the time to time those can be replicated. Nothing but we can copy the structure of extraction data, whatever we are receiving, into the main memory, and so from there we can get connected to the different reporting tools, whatever we have, like the connectivity types, the supported connectivity types, or SQL, MDX, and BIX. So we can have immediate data in that way. So what is SAP HANA? What comes with it is it's a in-memory software, and it's been supported by at the database level. We will have calculation and planning engine, and it is going to support row store and column store. This is a key part. Row store is nothing but we can define the tables, whatever we are going to design. For the better loading purpose, we always use a row store, but the better reading purpose, till now we never had this flexibility. That is nothing but column storage, which is gonna reduce the number of reads, and that's how we can get the faster report. That is a one thing. And real-time data replication, the Sybase replication, SLT, and with the nothing but SAP data services. With the help of this, we can get the real-time data. And content package, nothing but the way we are getting the extracted data in a faster way is with the better network. In that aspect, Cisco company has helped these guys to come up with the idea of a better network. And it's a core server architecture, which we can discuss uh, as per the curriculum. And then we can have flexible and analytical models that are built in HANA Studio with the help of HANA Live. That is, it's a standard business content, because this was not available in earlier days. In 2010, 11, 12, it was more likely more of customization. The business has to be designed completely with the limited business content is available. As a package, they were little, we used to have little pain, but now we have HANA Live and S4 HANA. So it's almost whenever the customer is going to buy this HANA product, it is quite ready for them. 80% of their business is going to be met. Business needs are going to be met in terms of operational reporting. All we have to do is it's a kind of a go and implement, replicate the models as per whatever we have in SD and MM, material management and finance, the required sectors for the business, and those can be called in the those models can be called in the reporting. So in that way, it's quite flexible, and planning and simulation, the compatibility is there, nothing but IP and BPC, which will give a better insight about the data. And we can minimize the duplication with the help of several cleansing areas. While doing the replication, we will be cleaning the data. In that way, we can avoid the data load errors mostly. And then while we are building the models alone, the filtering is done at the initial stages. So this is all about the SAP HANA, and this is a hybrid in-memory database that combines row-based, column-based, and object-based database technologies. It is optimized to exploit the parallel processing capabilities of the modern multi-core CPU architecture. And with this architecture, SAP applications can benefit from current hardware technologies. And this software and hardware combination integrates a number of SAP components like SAP HANA database, landscape transformation servers, replication servers, and we have data extractor connection and the Sybase replication technologies. And as a data source, it enables customers to analyze large volumes of ERP data in real time, avoiding the need to materialize the transformation. So we need not to do much of customization. We need not to do much of more of coding in that part. And the compressing capacity is more whenever we get the large volumes of the data. And in that way, it has very core, though it is a complex architecture in terms of combining all these things together. But when we started executing the business on this, we could see tremendous performance. Even when I worked with my own client, I could see that earlier to get a CRM data of 2 to 3 million contracts, it used to take almost 6 hours. But with this, we could execute 70 million of records within 4 hours of time. Like it's copying, like more of replication of that data just took 2 hours, so 4 hours. So that's a great deal. In fact, that's how the business is going to come up with a better idea. And it has, when we compared with the BIA, with the row store and SQL parser and some coding part in PNT time databases, this is going to be efficient. In that way, we can say that earlier slide I have shown you that the BIA, it's a combination of BIA index also. So that technology, column store, has code from BIA Trex engine. That is the current indexing engine that's been used by the SAP guys, whoever are having ECC and HANA for the performance, they've been using as a Trex. So this is the whole idea why we got HANA and what is the need to have HANA at the client premises. And as this has a capability to support existing BW system, which is gonna, they need not to, because till now most of the customers, they have BW systems, and that has to be supported. They just cannot go and scrap the system. So in that way, HANA gave a lot of compatibility, and the BW new systems, SAP BI and BW new system has much compatibility with the HANA systems. In that way, they can get their legacy data from BW systems into HANA, and they can have their current business into the HANA. And that made many of the customers now from past, when we look at the market in such a way, from past 1 to 2 years, we can see so many customers are moving into the HANA systems right now because of the price and the best features they are giving along with HANA, for along with the reporting tools, the Lumira, whatever, uh, that made the HANA as a very beautiful product in terms of supporting the business for the better performance with the huge amounts of data that we have been getting. And they made this as a centralized component. So I'll unmute all of you guys if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, whatever you have till now, the slides what we have been through, you can ask us.